So I'm well aware that Quinn and Anita Sarkeesian recently spoke in front of the UN about cyber violence in video games and how it needs to be stopped. Now, I could go on and on about the ridiculousness of this, about the ridiculousness that they want to essentially roll out a plan to censor video games, censor the internet, and create a new online community that is nothing more than an unthreatening, unchallenging, soft, tactile little world that is nothing more than a padded cell where you're spoon-fed from the time you enter it to the time you exit it, and you have no choice but to accept it whether you want to or not. Yeah, that is insane in and of itself. What's got me even more heated than this is the fact that they've willingly chosen to manipulate the fact that most people on the UN that they spoke to have no fucking idea what the hell these two are talking about. The UN doesn't know anything about this whole cyber violence shit. They don't know anything about the issues in video games that Anita Sarkeesian talks about in her videos. They don't know anything about what went on with the Quinn and Gamergate shit. They don't know anything about all this fucking insane quasi-feminist stuff these women espouse in their videos and Twitter pages. They don't give a fuck about any of that. All these two are doing is manipulating the fact that now world leaders heard this, and whoever the fuck else was there to hear this, and they're going to get their way by using keywords. Cyber violence. Violence against women. Video games. Violence. It's stupid. Okay? They're throwing out keywords to people too brain dead to understand what the fuck the real issue is here. They're running an agenda to get what they want. And that's not right. Okay? To go to something like the UN and advocate for what you want, that's in the best interest of only you, and fuck everyone else, is wrong. Okay? There have been a few people that have spoken in front of the UN in recent years on issues that some don't have anything to do with this, that have just puzzled my mind. It's like the UN used to be relevant in the world. Now it's just like, it's almost like a public forum for people with some crazy agenda to go up there and spout their shit. And then they just, a bunch of people go, yeah, that's really interesting. We'll either do nothing about it or roll out something absolutely ridiculous that fucks over more people than it ever will help. Like, for example, though philosophically I very much like what Emma Watson tried to do with the he for she thing, I thought it was incredibly crazy that she stood in front of the UN and talked about it, because most of the people that are on the UN, most of these world leaders, are leading countries that sell women into indentured sexual servitude. And they don't give a fuck that their countries do this. Okay? You want equality for women, you gotta speak towards people who actually give a flying motherfuck about equality. Okay? Your speech, great. Okay, it was great. I like what philosophically you were trying to accomplish. I'm not going to fault you for that. But for fucking real, these guys don't give a flying shit. They're looking at you, a pretty white girl with a lot of money. They're looking at you like you have a price tag sticking off the side of your head, like, oh my god, we could get so much money if we threw her in there. I hate to sound like an asshole. I hate to be an asshole. That's just how some motherfuckers who run countries in this world work. Because that's how shitty they are. They don't care. They hear Anita Sarkeesian talking about all this feminist frequency shit that she's been bitching about, all this Gamergate shit that she's been bitching about. She looks at Quinn, and God knows what the fuck she went up there to have to say about this Gamergate shit too. They don't know any of this crap. They're just going to say, wow, the United States is really setting a terrible precedent for women when it comes to online media. The world at large, and especially men, are setting a terrible precedent for women when it comes to online media. Because we're not going to sit there and do the hours of research that it takes to understand how full of shit and pushing their own agenda these two fucking cunts are. Fuck you. Alright, you saw a lot of this kind of wanting to make the world a giant soft pillow full of everything just handed to you. You saw a lot of this shit back in the 90s with parent groups. Hell, back in the 80s, too, with parent groups. Back when Al and Tipper Gore were doing the PMRC thing to label fucking CDs and shit with that parental advisory, and look at how that backfired. Through the 90s, and PTA groups wanting to get certain fucking television shows and books and movies and video games banned because they encouraged children to be violent to one another, and yet these were the same cocksuckers who thought it was a wonderful idea to jam Ritalin and Clonidine and Adderall and fucking Suboxone down every goddamn child's throat they could get their fucking hands on, because they just didn't want to deal with kids being a little bit spunky or hyper because they suck as parents. And now in this day and age, these types of people have completely fucked off because they realize the futility of the issue. Unfortunately, it's like the spawn of their particular fucking generations didn't get this memo that that shit doesn't work, and now they're rolling out an even more insane version of that shit. Let's make the world so completely fucking guarded and completely sheltered is the right word for it, sheltered from reality, that people will just not, they can't accept the offensiveness of video games, the offensiveness of the internet. Let's make sure that their skin is so thin that if you so much as breathe on them wrong, they're just gonna have to kill themselves. Fuck this! In front of the UN. Oh. Another thing that really bothers me about this is this toxic masculinity shit. This toxic masculinity shit and all this other fucking anti-masculinity shit. You know what it is? Fuck the opposition. Alright? Get a hashtag that really means what you fucking want to say. Okay? Fuck the opposition. All it is just hashtags and fucking bullshit catchphrases that are thrown out, targeted at men, when the reality is, it doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman, saying, essentially what I'm saying here, that this is all bullshit and an agenda. It's just meant to take those people who see it for what it is, group them all together in one solid group and say, you're going in the asshole toxic masculinity box. Everybody else that's a complete social defect and is so stupid they buy into my propaganda, they're going into the rabid SJW who's on my side box. Fuck this shit. I can't believe people buy into this crap. For fuck's sake, it's 2015. For fuck's sake. Stop believing propaganda. Okay? And stop supporting people like this who want to safeguard you from reality to the point you don't even know what the fuck reality is. They don't give a fuck about your personal issues. They just want what they want. And by supporting these assholes, you're giving it to them. You're letting them potentially architect a completely shitty world for you. And then what are you going to do? Oh, well, I guess that wasn't what I wanted. Well, I guess maybe you should have listened to your opposition a little more. Anyway, fuck Anita Sarkeesian, and fuck Quinn, and fuck the UN while I'm at it, because, wow, you guys are fucking morons to even have given the floor to people like this. Ugh. It's fucking stupid. Fucking stupid. And this is the world we live in. Anyway, I'm some guy on the internet, and so are you. Hopefully in the next few years I'll be allowed to actually do these videos, and I won't have to go to the Sarkeesian fucking penitentiary for offending someone. Or the Quinn penitentiary of not wanting to cuck the shit out of people just so I can get some fucking game reviews that are favorable to my piece of shit fucking game Depression Quest. It's not even a fucking video game. Anyway, yeah, fuck both these people.